Saving the world means saving all of it, even the Inquisition and their ways, and not just the parts of it that suit you.
So it's a huge open world RPG where the player is tasked with becoming a pirate. So first of all, they'll infiltrate the pirates, and then that's the main story. And then as they progress, they'll learn the pirate life, the piratical life, and and as they progress, they're going to learn lots of different techniques, piratey stuff. Swashbuckling, of course, using rifles, using pistols in the middle of a fight, using pirates to distract enemies. So it's a huge world made up of many different islands. So at the start of the game, the player will be introduced to the world, and then they'll get their own ship eventually, their own crew, and then the world opens up and they can go to the different islands and do different tasks there and explore and loot and plunder and whatever else. The developer Piranha Bytes are known for their fantasy worlds that aren't exactly high fantasy. They're grounded in some kind of reality, but they're usually worlds that are gritty and full of funny dialogue and funny characters and lots of different creatures. So grounded in reality in the sense that it's a Caribbean-esque, pirate-esque, but of course we've got lots of huge enemies to fight, lots of varied enemies, and lots of wildlife too. So in Risen 2 you can totally choose the way of voodoo, so that's one option to the player. They could also, of course, choose to side with a different faction that specialises in firearms. But if they specialise in voodoo, they have a number of options that are open to them. For example, maybe the player is tasked with taking over a ship. There's a lot of enemies there, there's a lot to fight, they're quite difficult. And if they specialised in firearms and really specialising in blades, maybe they're able to defeat them. Maybe they need to level up a little bit more. But with voodoo, the option opens up that they can steal a hair of the commander, make a voodoo puppet of this commander, take over him and actually control the commander himself, walk down to the ship and tell the guys to get to work somewhere else. Hey, you swab the deck, do this and get out of here. And then they'll clear the ship that way. So there's always different approaches to different missions in Risen 2, and voodoo is just one part of that. So you can get rifles, shotguns, and rifles with bayonets and pistols as well. So there's even within firearms there's room for specification to specialize in one particular area. So the rifles with bayonets are pretty cool. You can range attack an enemy, and then when they get close you can melee them and actually stick them as well. So there's even there's a lot of options, and you can combine that with different items such as powder kegs. You could throw them on the ground, and then just shoot when the enemy gets near, setting up little traps for them. And then in combination with the dirty tricks, the player can throw up his pistol into the mix, or throw in knives. They can throw salt and sand in the enemy's faces to disorientate them. And some creatures and some enemies their weaknesses are brought to light by using the different dirty tricks. So there's some that might be a little bit difficult to fight until you realize, oh, I throw sand in this one's face and it's disorientated, and then I can attack it. So each creature has its own weak point like this as well. So there's lots of different options to mix it up this time around in combat. So in Risen 2, we really want to show players that it's not dumbed down for console. There's a lot of complaints that gamers sometimes feel, console gamers sometimes feel that they're being handholded a little bit too much. Risen 2 is definitely an experience that's classical in nature. It's a classic RPG. You go and talk to NPCs. You find out what you need to do next, and the games really open up for you. There's not icons flashing up all over the HUD. Go here, go here. It really brings a sense of immersion back to the game that you actually have to take out the map. X marks the spot. Go here and listen to what NPCs say, because they'll often tip you off to different missions, or they'll say, "Hey, have you tried talking to this guy?" And it's really you get yourself into the character, into the role, and you're talking to characters, and that's how you progress in the game as well. So that we wanted to touch on that, and it's a game that's very rewarding. And you can, it can be quite difficult as well if you so choose. So there's a lot available to players who want to challenge as well. So Risen 2 Dark Waters is available on April 27th.
What the hell happened here?
Death is close.